What's your spirit animal?
My spirit animal. Is that something like, is that, do you choose that yourself, or is that something like a star sign?
I think you choose it yourself.
You choose yourself. I would be a dog.
Dog?
Yeah.
Nice. Hell yeah. That was sick.
Yeah, nice playing, man.
Yeah. Alright, we're here with Ahren Shreeve, one of my favorite guitarists. You probably recognize him from online, but Ahren's down in LA, and I told him he should come by the studio and just talk guitars and, you know,
Play a little bit, see what we got going on, yeah.
find someone I could learn from, really. But what are you doing down here? What's going on right now?
It's a good time to be down here. There's NAMM convention in Anaheim, and that'll be cool to check out. I just also have some friends out here that I'm, you know, staying with and meeting up with. Really into the music scene out here, and finding ways to become a bigger part of it. So that's, I love the culture and vibe out here as well. So this is a good spot for me.
You're absolutely killing it. If you guys don't know, Ahren's on Instagram and posts the most monstrous videos. And what's cool is most of it's live, so he's not, you know, in a studio with tons of takes. It's on the spot with a band, and you sound insane. But today we're just kind of keeping it loose. We're going to talk about how you visualize progression and, you know, kind of the levels of a guitar solo through it. So
yeah, this one's an interesting one because we have a 3 dominant chord, and then at the end of the whole progression we have 4 minor. So we have some outside stuff.
And just for the people watching, when you say a 3 dominant chord, what do you mean by that? So we're in the key of G, right?
We're in the key of G.
Yeah.
So I'm using the number system to label a chord.
Right.
All right. So in the key of G, we have the G major scale. 1, 2, 3. The third note is B, and that's a B chord that we're landing on there. So that would be the 3 chord.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we have the 1, 3 dominant, like you said. So basically a 7th chord, dominant 7th chord.
Yeah.
7th. And then the next chord, what would you number that?
4.
So that's a C chord, and then finally
5.
So he's just going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah.
Every note of the major scale, right? Except for the 2.
Except for 2. Yeah. Skip 2.
Cool. So, kind of baseline. You know, we were just jamming before, talking about the stuff. Like, what's the first thing you think about, or not the first thing you think about? What's running through your mind when it's your turn to improvise?
I'm thinking of, first of all, what key we're in. So I know that we're in G, and I want to maybe pick an area of the neck to start on. Usually it's nice to start in the middle of the fretboard, so you have room to go down and go up depending on what you feel like you want to, where you feel like you want to go with your solo. So I don't know, like this G, and that doesn't necessarily mean I'm gonna start on the G, but I'm gonna see where my options are around there, and maybe I'll start on the 3rd. That's a nice strong note. of the chord. So maybe I'll start on that or do a few pickup notes.
And so those notes to me, I mean, as someone who plays guitar a lot, like I can hear that that's a pentatonic line.
Yes.
So maybe go over a little bit about the pentatonic scale and sort of how you might use that in this progression.
Yeah.
We'll kind of expand from there.
The pentatonic scale is really lyrical. It leaves a lot of room for expression, and so that's, you have less notes to work with, so you can kind of add expression to make it a little bit more interesting.
So you want to give an example? I'm just gonna play
Yeah.
a G chord. Show us like what do you mean by lyrical? Or...
Yeah. So. I played every note of the pentatonic scale. I just didn't hit the upper octave. I started on the third.
Yep.
You can slide it. And then resolve to the root. You want to resolve to a nice strong note.
Yeah. So you're saying G major pentatonic. You want to show maybe like, how do you view the pentatonic scale? Are you seeing it in terms of across the neck this way, or?
I think that's a good way to start getting familiar with it, if you're not already, is
Okay.
But eventually you'd want to be able to hear it and know what your interval shapes look like, so that you can just hear what the G major pentatonic scale sounds like, and do it like, say, on one string.
Okay, wait. Do that really slowly. I think that's critical for someone learning this stuff. So if I just play a G chord, you're playing the G major pentatonic scale just on one string.
On the G string, yeah.
Cool. You want to play that slowly?
Open to 2nd fret, 4th fret, 7th fret, 9th fret,
Cool.
12th fret.
And I think what we should do right now is I'm just going to play that progression through and just show the viewer that you can create amazing lines literally just with one string.
On one string. It's a really good exercise, actually.
I think it's what I hear in your playing a ton, is that like, sounds like you're singing on the guitar, and I feel like this is a good way to show that. So I'll just play that progression real slow. 2, 3. Sounds like I'm sitting next to someone with a microphone, just like.
That's the goal.
Singing.
That's the goal. It's really nice to try and get that sound out of the guitar.
Totally.
And if you think about it, slide players have that lyrical or that vocal aspect to them, and a lot of times slide players will be playing along one string.
Totally.
So you can lighten up your touch and get that slippery, slidey, feel without a slide. And it's a little bit different, but it's its own cool style.
Cool. Guys, I just wanted to quickly remind you that the vast majority of the people that are watching these videos are actually not subscribed. So please hit the subscribe button now if you want to help me out. It's the best way to help the channel for free, and I can start talking to more guests like Ahren and some of my favorite guitarists in the world. Also, please follow Ahren on Instagram if you don't already. He posts amazing videos of him playing guitar, and he also has tabs for sale so you can learn some of the stuff he's playing. But again, please subscribe and drop a comment who you want to see next. Anyways, back to the video. Alright, so we start on that G chord again. You're just talking major pentatonic all day long.
Yeah.
But then once I go to that B7.
So this is where you throw a curveball a little
Right.
bit, and you have to follow the chord here.
What does that mean, following the
Follow
chord?
the chord. So right, we're stepping out of the natural notes of the G major scale.
Yeah.
That's including this note, which is really not in the G major scale.
Right.
It's that, not that. So, so we'll just kind of think about this chord on its own and think about the chord tones. A really easy way to do this is just play a note from the chord shape.
Okay.
Like there, that's included. That's right there. That's the top note. Or there, yeah.
And what's kind of, why would you pick that note out of?
Well, it's very safe because it's already being played.
Uh-huh.
So you know it's not going to clash.
Okay.
But that's
what about
also
this chord, or this note?
that's good. It's the root, so that's also a very strong note. That might be a little muddy depending on,
Yeah.
who you're playing with. That's
Right.
that's.
Can we give an example? I'll play both chords.
Yeah.
And we'll do one example showing both notes. So the first note being that major third, and the second one just being the root.
Okay.
So I'll just play. Yeah, I mean, just me listening, it's like I can hear that you are clearly defining the chord that's coming.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's really just with one note. It's not, it's not rocket science, I should say.
It's one note from the chord. Yeah.
To go back to you just playing the G major pentatonic scale,
Yeah.
would we be safe playing that over that 3 chord?
No. You could. There's some notes that would work.
Let's hear it.
Yeah.
So let's start on the G. Going to the B7.
It's really only the 3,
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I'm hearing as well. It's
Having
like,
trouble making the other ones work.
and I think this is where guitarists can get lost in the sauce a little bit. Is like a lot of people are very comfortable knowing their licks in their pentatonic shapes, but highlighting those chord tones, that's where the magic really happens on.
Yeah, you have to be listening
Yeah.
to the chord behind you. Yeah.
So I think if you could just, for the viewer watching, like if you're going to a chord that's not quite diatonic to the key, like this B7, what's like a solid way to find that third? Or how do you approach the third in the chord? And
how to approach the third.
I guess what I'm asking is, a lot of times on guitar I see things in terms of like a shape. So if I have a B7, I know that a third is always a half a step back on the next string from a root. So is that how your mind works, or do you?
I really, after I know what key I'm in and start playing, I'm all relative pitch, and I know how it sounds and know where it should land. But if I'm jumping to a different part of the fretboard, I need to have a reference, then I will use that shape. Yeah, and I'll put it in this middle octave so it sticks out a little bit.
So in general though, could we get through a progression improvising just playing thirds of chords?
For sure.
Yeah.
It's probably the safest way.
Yeah. So why don't we go through that whole progression and just highlighting the thirds of each chord? And I'm just going to play again chords like this. So let's check it out. We'll do that whole progression and let's see how you handle it.
Yeah.
And you can, play through it, but highlight those thirds.
Gotcha.
Change from C major to C minor, and I heard something different.
Yes.
What you were playing changed. So what's going through your mind right there?
I'm noticing the chord quality change from major to minor. You go from this major happy sound to minor dark and gloomy. So that the only difference between a major third and a minor third is flat 3 for minor. So
flat 3, what does that mean? For the viewer that's watching, that's kind of new to this stuff.
For sure, yeah. That's bringing a note down a half step. So when you flat a note.
So basically just bringing it down 1 fret.
1 fret is a half step. Yes. So we're going E flat is the minor third there. Yeah.
Very Beatlesy
Yes.
kind of move.
It's
So
a really nice turnaround. Yeah.
So let's check that out real quick. I'm just gonna alternate between the major and minor chord.
Yeah.
Just hear how you kind of move through it.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. That's amazing.
Minor 9.
Yeah. So it's really, I heard the theme kind of stayed the same, but it's really that one note.
That's all. Yeah.
Everything else kind of can stay the same, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So now let's kind of go back to that initial kind of pentatonic idea, and let's go through a round of the progression, focusing just on the pentatonics, then highlighting those thirds, and and see how that can sound. So first round, we'll start on pentatonic, and then kind of open it up with the thirds.
Cool.
If you can. It's a lot to ask, but
We'll wrap everything up. Yeah.
let's try. Yeah, let's throw the thirds in. Sounds so good. Yeah, so just to kind of wrap it up with the progression, you're seeing things with the pentatonic scale, and then with chord tones specifically with thirds.
With thirds, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's always. That's the note that I tend to gravitate towards with chords. So, yeah, thirds.
What's like a solid way someone could practice this stuff? I mean, before we were on camera, you were talking about triads being critical to your playing. Is there like something that you used to practice or you still do to get those shapes comfortable under your fingers and finding thirds, for example?
Yes, I really recommend this, like playing the major scale, like G major scale in thirds.
Okay.
So, right, a third from the first degree, and then a third from the second degree.
Right.
So overall.
And just real quick for the viewer, I'll play the diatonic chords while you play through that, just to show how the thirds really it's the note that you hear in a chord, I think. I mean, not speak for you.
1, 2, 3, 4. Perfect. Yeah.
That is an amazing exercise. Check that out.
That's good, yeah. And then it just really walks you through all the different shapes of thirds. You have major thirds, minor thirds.
Yeah.
When you get into the second octave, you have major third in that shape with the tuning difference, 1 fret, or a minor third, which looks like a major third.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool stuff.
Yeah. Also, you get single string minor thirds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
So major pentatonics, thirds, chord tones.
Yes, and if you can say the scale degrees along as you practice that 1, 3, 2, 4, you can sing them. And extra thing would be doing ear training exercises without your guitar. Something would play you 2 notes, and you'd have to say what it is.
Like the distance between the notes, the interval. You want me to test you right now, real quick?
Yes.
All right, let's try one. This is a random interval ear training for Ahren right now. Ready?
Major second. Yeah.
Legend.
That's a hard one. That's
a hard one.
Yeah.
Nice job. All right, well, that's it with Ahren. I mean, dude, like I said, you're one of my favorite players. Before we
Thank you.
go, what's not to put you on the spot, but what's one song that anybody should learn on the guitar for their rhythm playing, and then maybe one for their lead playing?
Yeah, I really like this song for rhythm playing, "Old Love" by Eric
Oh, yeah,
Clapton.
totally.
Yeah, because it integrates a riff.
Yeah.
So you have to kind of jam with yourself and keep time.
Okay.
So should I
So
demonstrate?
Old Love? Yeah,
Yeah.
just one.
One go around.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
I mean, I could literally just sit and just listen to you do that all day. Cool. And what about a solo?
A solo. That's a good question. I think the AC/DC solo. I can't remember what song it is. "Shook Me All Night Long."
Okay.
I think that's a really good one. It has great phrasing. It's a pretty quick build, but it still displays like repetition of ideas and focus on the downbeat.
Cool.
That one's great, and there's a lot you can do with it. You can go into all the small details.
Right on.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty solid one.
Cool.
Not necessarily the most
I'm
bluesy.
familiar with the song, but
Mhm.
I can't think of the solo, so I'll check it out later.
Yeah.
Right on. Well, dude, it's been sick.
Yeah.
I'm like so stoked to just hear you play, and yeah, we've had a really good time hanging out too.
Yeah.
So.
I appreciate you having me. It's really fun to do a video here, and thanks, man.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, Aaron's gonna play you guys out.
All right. On the spot.
Yeah.